See you, man.
Hello, everybody. It's Graham Coath with another Move TV. Thanks for joining us at midday on a Friday, which is one of my favourite times because it's tea time. Not that kind of tea time, but it's the middle of the day on a Friday. Feels good to get to this part of the week, doesn't it, Tom? Today's special guest on Move TV is Tom Bates. Thanks for joining me.
It's okay. My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
I have to mention straight away, because I know that you'll get a ribbing if you don't mention it, the fish tank in the background. Do you want to just give a little shout out for that?
There's a lad. I don't know if anyone will know him, to be honest. Steve Windle. Yeah, so Steve does my fish tank for me. I've always had a big love for fish tanks, to be honest. And when we bought this house, it was actually built into the wall, but we've knocked the garage through and converted it to another downstairs room. So I was like, I still need the fish tank in the house, so we've put it here instead now.
Lovely. Yeah. No, growing up, I've always had a fish tank at every single doctor's I've ever been at as well. I don't know whether that's a thing for doctors, but wonderful. You know, if you're sitting there in a doctor's, you're getting nervous about going in to see the doctor. The fish kind of help to take all of that anxiety away. Is that what you find, that sort of fish kind of relax you a little bit?
No, they stress me out. That's why I get Steve.
Oh, really?
No, honestly, the amount of money I put into that fish tank, honestly, but it's more it worked a lot when we had the baby. And he'd sit on our knee in front of it and just watch them and stuff. It's a little bit soothing for that. We eat our dinner in the dining room, so it's nice to have that on as well. So,
yeah. So tell me, Tom, a little bit about what it is that you do. So apprenticeships. Yeah.
So apprenticeship. So what I do is what I'm trying to do a lot more of is change the perception of apprenticeships. Really, it's always stereotypically being one of those conversations where as soon as you mention it, you can see a few people switch off. I've had these in the past. There's been problems, and I'm trying to change that. And that's because apprenticeships have changed so much over the years since I've been doing it. So yeah, providing schools and businesses with new apprentices, and we can also train existing staff members, so upskill. People get businesses and schools to invest in their current staff that they've got and take them to the next level.
Maria just saying, who doesn't love a fish tank, from Steve Windle. Thanks for that, Maria. I think that's a really important thing that you're doing. And especially, do you work with educational institutions as well then? Do you
so we're a training provider based in Bootle, Liverpool, asset training, but we operate all over the region, and other places in the northwest as well that we can operate from. So yeah, I've always been in the education game, and it's something I'm quite passionate about as well, education. So it's where I am today.
Well, my previous role for many, many years was I worked for within the field of sort of workplace adjustments, but then I actually went and worked for the last 5.5 years for EdTechs, where we were working within education and working particularly with those students that struggled with academia, really, as struggled because of cognitive processing issues or things like that. And one of the things that I became very aware of from sitting on institutional meetings about inclusion and accessibility, etc., was that the real need for there to be many more ways to access jobs, access that kind of next stage in your career, because ultimately, sitting an exam isn't for everybody, is it?
No, and that's what I like about apprenticeship. So I personally didn't do an apprenticeship when I left school. I went down the college and university route. I always wanted to be a PE teacher, but because apprenticeships weren't like they are now, when I had left school, had they have been, I'd have probably gone into a teaching assistant apprenticeship or a sports coaching apprenticeship or something. But I think that is a barrier. We get quite a lot of learners come to us now who have maybe graduated from university. More mature candidates come to us now who have been in work or a working industry setting for a long period of time, and they want to go back to get that education platform. And some have to start again. Some, as I've just mentioned, come out of university and they can't get into where they want to go. so they have to take another route. So that's why the apprenticeships, I think, are really good. Gone are the days of stereotyping of a 16-year-old out of school with no qualifications who can just make cups of teas and do some photocopying and whatever. It's not that no more. They're highly skilled and highly advanced people now.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are still young. And going in, but ultimately, as you say, it's not a skivvy now.
No,
whereas before it seemed it was one of those things where it's like, oh, can I get an apprentice in? Maybe they can do all the dog's body work.
Yeah.
Leave us to do the stuff, and we don't have to pay them very much, or it's all cheap labor really. Now a lot of businesses are trying to get youngsters in at that early age and do the apprenticeship scheme. I mean, one of the areas that I know that's becoming more prevalent is people like accountancy firms, for example, where it's getting harder to attract the talent in and know that you're getting the kind of talent that will actually stay the course, because accountancy is hard, right? So it
is. And we do accountancy apprenticeship, so we do see that, and we get a lot of accountants come to us and explaining that you can't keep hold of the staff or whatever it might be, and you get university placed candidates looking to do a placement year or whatever, but we can start them at the level 2 into level 3 into level 4 with our accountancy route.
No, it's a really good way into business. Why do you think more people are starting to look at apprenticeships though? Do you think it actually fits company culture as well, the changing kind of company culture that's happening out there?
Yeah, I think people are looking into it more because I'm getting out there a lot more and spreading it. No, it's not me. It's not me. I think it's obviously the government's incentive has helped. The fact that the government fund at least 95% of an apprenticeship program now, as I've mentioned, some candidates are coming out a lot stronger from school. Schools are starting to incorporate like business studies and stuff into the curriculum, which is good. And I think, but that should have been done years ago. Myself included, come out of school, knew nothing about interest rates, APRs, mortgages, or anything like that. And I know, there'll be people, members of Move and former members of Move, who'll be able to vouch for that as well and say those types of stuff should be incorporated into curriculums. But I think the stronger candidates that are coming out of school now and looking for their next steps, because like you said earlier, an exam isn't for everyone, college isn't for everyone, a sixth form isn't for everyone. What an apprenticeship allows us, the employer and the training provider, to do and the learner is it's tailored uniquely for that person, for that individual. We do learning style questionnaires at the start, so if they learn better through visual or kinesthetic or auditory, then we teach them and coach them and mentor them that way, as opposed to just sitting in your rows of 30 people in one classroom and all being told the same one thing. That's not how I learned best in school. I didn't engage a lot in school really. Come out okay, but if I could go and do it all again, I'd do it all again now.
Question for you: Can apprenticeships and internships actually work together, or are they never the twain shall meet?
They can do. As I say, ours is just solely apprenticeships. So I'm just solely selling apprenticeships as opposed to like the internship, easy for me to say, internship kind of things. But apprentices, you can do them at any age. There's no age limit. Well, obviously at least 16, but past that now, as I said, we're getting mature candidates coming to us and everything now, which is also beneficial to businesses. A lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but some people want young ones because they want to mold them that way and their way, so they only know their way or no other way. Mature candidates can come in with a lot more ideas and experience and life skills, which can benefit some places as well. So
surprise people now then. So tell us some of the kind of industries that apprenticeships can be done in. There might be people sitting out there that go, well, yeah, but you can't do an apprenticeship for my industry. What's the kind of gamut of?
You can do an apprenticeship in pretty much everything now. What we do at Asset is business administration, customer service, finance, marketing assistant, junior content producer, HR, teaching assistant. Wow. And then you can, when you're upskilling your existing staff, you can go into like your team leader, learning and development practitioners or specialists into operations management level 5s. So it's quite a broad range of what we do. And to be fair, I've been at Asset now 3.5 years, and over that time we have like kind of streamlined our profiles of what we look at. We used to do, performance manufacturing, health and social care, and everything, and it was a bit just all out there. It was a bit all over the place, so we streamlined a lot more. So Asset are, the specialists in this area. So
yeah, are Asset a national company, or are they just
no,
based where you're?
Yeah, just based in Bootle, but regional. We work with loads of the local regional councils as well. Preferred supplier lists and everything. So yeah, we're out there.
Yeah. So what's your great ambition for the apprenticeship program?
Mine, well, as I said before, I always wanted to be a PE teacher. I then met I nearly said girlfriend then, but recently fiance. I then met her who was a teacher at the time, and it just put me off. I'll be honest, like seeing stacks of paperwork on the table of an evening, and I was thinking I couldn't do that. And I still get to work with schools. I still get to work with teachers and head teachers, which is good. After I finished university, I went into teaching more disadvantaged 16 to 24-year-olds. Those less privileged, I suppose, people who've been in jail, young offenders. I went into teaching them kinds of people, and that I loved that, giving them a second chance. And some of them are still doing what I was doing with them today. I had a message not long ago off a lad who was looked to be going down the complete wrong path when I had him. Some sort of influence, whether it be that from me or someone else, has triggered something, and he's now like an engineer at Bentley.
Wow.
And he messaged me as well personally to say thanks for everything that you've done. So all that side of it, for me, I'm more of like that leader and that mentor kind of person. I like helping people. I love helping people. I love helping them, whether that be personally or professionally. And that's why I love Move, because that's what Move's all about, making better human beings, I suppose. And
well, now let's talk about Move in a second. Let's just take another comment from Maria Charles. As an employer, I understand the benefit of having a young learner who's willing and eager to understand all elements of the workplace. So they have fresh eyes that can often see what blinkers employers. They can add such value. This is my experience. I'm a big fan of apprenticeship training. Thanks for that, Maria. Yeah. That's a great comment. I mean, I think that's an important aspect of it. And actually, I do an accountancy podcast as well, and there's an episode of that that's about to go out in the next week or so. And on there, someone from a fairly big accountancy practice was saying that actually it's really important within that sector that they get more young people in and get more young people in on the journey for the accountancy practice as well, because young people understand tech.
Yeah. Tech's everywhere now. It's on everyone's fingertips, isn't it? And I think the younger generation coming through, like Maria's comment, leads towards as well, is they've got fresh ideas. Sometimes when you're in business, you can be set in your ways, and it's just this way, this is all we know. But so much other things are happening externally that a young person comes in and goes, oh, have you heard the latest trend on this and this and this? And they put their ideas in. We're advocates for it ourselves at Asset. We take apprentices ourselves. We train our staff because we want them to know about the latest trends that's going on, the latest happenings, how we can all improve, because that will only benefit the business.
Yeah, I think it's a change in management kind of mindset as well, which is happening out there, which is, not just seeing young people as someone that starts at the bottom, doesn't know anything, works their way up, but seeing the benefit of bringing a young person in as part of the team, making them understand the value of your wisdom and your experience that you've gained over the years, but gaining from them at the same time, making it more of a sort of push and pull experience all the way through. That's really important.
Yeah.
Tell us about Move. So how long have you been a Move member?
It's all right.
Yeah. How long have you been in Move?
About 2 years now. I think I joined during lockdown, when market switched from the networking to the online stuff. I was about to go to the networking, and then COVID happened.
Oh, wow.
I'm not purposely, to be honest. I've only been to one network and I need to get to more, but I know Mark will say there's no buts, but there is buts.
Yeah. Well, for networking, for anyone that's watching this that's never doesn't know what networking is or has never experienced it, it's literally getting out Saturday or Sunday morning, early doors, to go and walk 10,000 steps around. I think it's either around a lake area or through a park. Meet other business people and share with people. But you went to then move online, and you found that helpful?
Yeah, that is. Yeah, so networking for me, I think, is majorly important. Obviously there's so many different parts of my role, that whether that be cold calling, prospecting, foot marketing, but networking, I think for me is just you're in the room 9 times out of 10 with the decision maker. So why not go networking? And I've always, I think for the last, I'd say 5 years, 6 years, been in networking of some capacity. Other networking groups, some have worked well, some haven't. But since I joined Move, I think there was no judgment of character straight away compared to other networking groups that I've been in. And they try and shush you out for a little bit, for whether that be a few weeks or a few months. Whereas Move, everyone was so welcoming, open arms, and straight away they want to fire business to you, and it works. And then when you've got someone like me who can sell the product, then they're going to buy.
I love your confidence.
Yeah, well, I've got to be confident in this role, haven't I?
Absolutely.
No,
there's
I think
an apprenticeship for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done it. That's right. Yeah, so I think Move just works for me. I've had so much business come from Move. Met so many good people who are now friends. One of them is the fish tank. So loads of them. Yeah, it's just a great place to be. It's a great place to be a part of. A great environment of people.
Yeah, and for me, one of the things that makes it different is the support element of it. So it's unlike some network groups where you come in and it's immediately into sort of pitch away and get into that kind of conversation about business. I've never experienced anything quite so as similar to this, where you can meet with that group of people and you can literally, in a safe space, talk about pain points of your business or things that you're struggling with that week, or things that that are going really well, but get advice from a group of other business people.
Yeah, which is what you need, and the people give you that much time. They start to understand your business. Likewise, I do with other businesses, and even personally as well. People help you personally. There's times where we've been on move Zoom meetings, and people have spoke about personal things, and you just don't know that other people in the room probably have experienced something the same, and you can just get that advice. Whereas sometimes, whether you go to your mum or your dad or your line manager at work or whoever it might be, you seem to get the same kind of response of, oh, come on, you'll be all right, it'll be okay, don't worry about it. But then you go to other people and it's like, well, go around this approach with it. There's always a solution there from someone else, and that's what I like about it.
Tom, it's been great talking to you today. For anybody that's out there that's been thinking about apprenticeships, but maybe has been scared to go to the next level, what would you say to them? What should convince them that apprenticeships are the way to go?
Do you mean for a candidate to do an apprenticeship, or a business, or a school, or?
Let's go both.
Oh, okay. Just do it. Like for a person looking to or pondering, I don't know whether an apprenticeship is for me. It's you're learning the skills, the values, the qualities, the behaviours of both education and work at the same time. You'll pick those life skills up straight away, whether you're fresh out of school or you're 40, 50, 60 years of age, because there's no age limit on it. There's that old saying of you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you genuinely can, especially in the apprenticeship game. There's always new things to learn, and that's for any walk of life, I suppose, but in the apprenticeships that gives you that. And then on the flip side, for businesses and for schools, it's what we've discussed of people can come in with these new ideas, but you're also molding someone into, let's say, because she's commenting, Maria, the next Maria Chalice. Do you know what I mean? And that's what you want. You want that legacy left behind of a business that you've built and put your heart and soul and dedication into for so long. Get the next person to think the same, because in work that there's a revolving door constantly of people in, people out, people in, people out. But if you genuinely invest so much time and effort into this person, they will reward you back. And I see that now, as I mentioned, lads who I used to teach previous employers, but now with apprenticeships that I see, and apprentices complete and then they're taken on full time, and there's no obligation to take them on full time, and I make that crystal clear in an initial meeting, but they just do it because they work for them, and it's this bond and relationship just happens of the apprentice and the business and the owner, director, whoever it might be, and they want to reward themselves, and that person will work hard in the future, and they know that business then inside out because they learn everything about it on the apprenticeship.
Yeah, I was going to say, talking about that, if anyone wants to get more information on apprenticeships, do contact Tom. And it's not all you're fired. That's
I'm not on sugar, far from it.
Absolutely not that at all. That is it. Do you ever watch that and think it gives it a bad name?
Sometimes, or like, I'd love to just sit there and say, "No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want."
Or answer back.
Yeah, answer back. Yeah. No. Sometimes it does. I think it's a different type of apprentice model. Do you know what I mean? That these people are coming in with all sorts of big extravagant ideas on that program. But in here, yes, people have got ideas in here in our game. People have got those ideas, but it's all about walking before they can run kind of thing as well. There's a lot of support from our end. Everything about Asset is all about, like, it sounds cringy saying it and stuff, but it's all about putting the learner first. But it genuinely, they've got to be the forefront of everything that I do, that all my colleagues do, but that the business end up doing, initially. And some businesses love the idea of it, and then they don't have the time to then invest into the stereotypical young person or whoever it might be going in, and that's fine. Then let's revisit that at another time. But because they do need time and effort and training and mentoring and coaching, but who doesn't? We all do. Even everything that we do today, we all still need that. So,
if people would like to have a conversation with Tom, what Move online group do you go to?
Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock, the best one.
Ooh, contentious. So, if you'd like to have a chat with Tom, he'll be at Move Online Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock. That's the easy way to see him, along with a load of other people from Move. So, book yourself onto that, move-online.co.uk. That's the place to do that. Never stop learning, that's for sure. Great comment to finish on from Maria there today. Tom, it's been a pleasure. Congratulations on the engagement as well. Yeah, don't forget that in future in interviews, right? Because could get.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, right.
Another comment there as well from Chelsea. She used the jeweler who sorted it out. So shout out to Chelsea.
There you go. I love networking. Yeah, absolutely. It's been a pleasure talking to you today. If you are watching this back, do get in touch with Tom Bates, and we'll see you again very soon for some more Move TV. Bye for now.